Hi everybody, this is Johnny. Let's make a game together. For this game, we'll need 2 sheets of paper. We'll need something to write and draw with. We'll also need a few other things. Colored pencils to make it look good. 3 dice would be best, and some counters. There's something else we need. What is it? Oh, we'll need a bear. So let's start making our game board. We'll put these things away. We'll start with our 2 sheets of paper. We want to line them up like this. We're making a big game board today. After we line them up like that, let's go ahead and tape them together. If you have a little bit of tape. And then if we turn it over, you'll see how big our game board's going to be. That's a good size. Let's start our drawing. I'm going to start over here and make a straight line like this. When I get close to the middle, I'm going to go up. Not too close to the top, but around like this. Maybe a little bend, a curve. Maybe another bend down here. A little woggle. Back up like this. And maybe like that. And then we're going to curve around and join again. That looks good. Let's make another line just on the outside of this one. I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to make it parallel to the line we started with. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to make it go around like this, going around this bend and with a little bit of curve down here, maybe this little bend right here, up like that, and then we'll come around and join again. You can make this as wiggly as you want it to be. Next, I'm going to draw something right here. I'm going to start with 2 parallel lines like this. Make a rectangle like that. Maybe draw a line down the middle. A couple other lines like this. Maybe colored in like this. Checkerboard pattern. Every other one. And then this one down here. That looks good. Now I'm going to make marks for the game board. We'll start here. What we want to do is make spaces along the game board. You have to decide how many you want. If you make a lot of spaces, the game will last longer. If you make fewer, then the game will be shorter. Some places you can make them closer together if you want to, or further apart. And maybe one more right here. That looks good. Now I'm going to put a curb around the track. So this is just a little line just on the outside of the big lines, all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect. However you like to make it best. We did one on the outside, let's do one on the inside as well. Let's add a few things. Let's put a few trees on the inside of our track, maybe especially at these corners. Now let's add something very special. This space is going to be important to the game. So what we want to do is make a good sized square, because it's going to have some information, some numbers that are going to matter to us when we play this game. So we want to make sure it's a good size. And we want to make it into 4 parts. So we'll take our square and divide it into other squares. And we'll label the squares too. We'll put a 1 here, a 2 here, 3, and a 4. Now I'm going to put a circle around each of these. These are our gears. First gear, second gear, third gear, and fourth gear. Now I'm going to put numbers in here, and these are the important numbers. So for first gear, the important numbers are 12, 18, 20, and 24. For second gear, the important numbers are 15, 16, 25, and 32. For third gear, the important numbers are 30, 35, 36, and 40. And for fourth gear, the important numbers are 27, 42, 48, and 50. And why are these numbers important? They are our gears. Let's go ahead and draw a gearbox over here. We'll start with a circle and the gear shift. Maybe a circle here, another circle here. And we might as well make the gearbox around the gear shift. And we're going to be going between first gear, second gear, third gear, and fourth gear. Let's go ahead and do a bit more drawing. Over here, what do we need? Let's start with 2 circles. A circle and another circle. Let's draw a line between them, and maybe a line out the back. It climbs up like this, moves along like that, comes down, maybe a curve like this, and then coming all the way down like this. I'm starting to see what's going on here. And then back here, let's go ahead and put one of these. That looks good. Let's go ahead and put the inside here. And how about somebody inside looking like this? That looks good. And maybe a steering wheel too. Let's go ahead and make our tires a bit thicker. You can color them in as much as you want. And maybe something else on here too. What else can we do? Oh, let's do a little bit of this. Make it a real racing car. That's looking pretty good. Oh, maybe we need a light up here too, huh? Let's give this game a name. We're going to call this game Speed Racer. Let's do some coloring. So let's play the game. Axel will be playing Edsel. Axel will be driving the blue car, and Edsel will be driving the red car. They will be using dice and the gearbox to move their cars along. First, they will roll the dice to see who goes first. So Axel rolls the dice and gets a 6. Edsel rolls the dice and gets a 1. Axel will go first. So Axel rolls all 3 of the dice and sets them out for us to see. What Axel wants to do is to find the right gear. First gear, second gear, third gear, or fourth gear. The numbers inside let us know how far Axel can travel on his turn. So if Axel's able to make a 12, an 18, 20, or 24, Axel can move 1 space. In second gear, any of these numbers mean 2 spaces. In third gear, any of these numbers mean 3 spaces. And in fourth gear, any of these numbers will take you 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now how do we make those numbers? You can add and subtract the numbers and then multiply with a third dice if you want to, or you can just multiply 2 of them together. So right now, if we're looking here, Axel could choose to say 3 times 5 is 15 and take 2 spaces. Axel could choose 4 times 5, 20, to choose 1 space. But there are other choices available as well. What Axel really likes is adding the numbers 4 and 5 together to make 9, and then 9 times 3 makes 27, which is 4th gear. So Axel's going to take 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's Axel's turn. Let's roll for Edsel. Think about what's possible for Edsel right now. Edsel could do 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 times 5 is 20, to go in first gear and take 1 space. Edsel could also just do 5 times 5. 5 times 5 makes 25, that's a second gear, and so Edsel could move 2 spaces, but there's a better move. Edsel chooses to add 5 plus 1, and then multiply it by 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 times 5 makes 30. That's third gear. So Edsel takes 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3. Axel takes a turn, rolls all 3 dice, sets them out. Think about what's possible for Axel right now. Axel could make 6 times 4 is 24 for first gear, moving 1 space. Axel could make 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. That only moves 1 space. Is there a better one still? Oh, you see it too. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 times 6 makes a 30 for third gear. So Axel chooses that. 1, 2, 3 for third gear. It's Edsel's turn. Well, looks like a good roll. Think about what's possible. Edsel could do 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18 for first gear for 1 space. But there are better ones, aren't there? Edsel could do 6 times 5, which makes 30, which gives third gear, 1, 2, 3. But there's a better one still. Do you see it yet? Edsel decides to add 5 and 2 together to make 7. And 7 times 6 makes 42. Fourth gear, 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Game is a tie right now. It's Axel's turn. Axel rolls. 5, 5, and 1. What can we make? 5 times 5 will make 25 for second gear. But Axel knows better than that. 5 and 1 makes 6. 6 times 5 makes 30. So third gear for Axel. 1, 2, 3. Let's roll for Edsel. Edsel sees that 6 and 3 make 9, and 9 times 4 makes 36. But there's a better one out there still, isn't there? Edsel decides to add the 4 and 3 together to make 7, and 7 times 6 makes 42. Fourth gear. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Edsel is now in the lead. So Axel and Edsel are going to keep moving around the racetrack until one of them passes the line again. As soon as they pass this line, they're the winner of the race. A different version of this game is to have more than one car. So Axel and Edsel could have more cars. And then it becomes a team competition. Edsel and Axel would have to get both of their cars across the finish line. And when the first person gets both of their cars across the finish line, then the game is won. This is the game Speed Racer. And for this game, you need paper, 2 sheets of it. You need something to draw with. You need some playing pieces, some dice, maybe some colored pencils as well. Something else. What else do we need? Oh, we need a bear. Do enjoy this game.